know, this movie isn't always the most faithful adaptation, but 8-year-old Lee was hooked the second he heard that theme. What could possibly go wrong?
Then something happened. A giant meteorite struck the Earth.
Speaking of which, they got Homer Simpson to open this masterpiece, and even some 8-bit stylization to open our video game movie.
What if the dinosaurs weren't all destroyed? It created a parallel dimension where the dinosaurs evolve into intelligent, vicious, aggressive beings.
Just a great concept for a movie, The Good Dinosaur before The Good Dinosaur. Also, I think it's safe to say that all those stupid reptilian conspiracy theories that say that the rich and powerful are actually lizards all stemmed from this movie. Obviously, that's the case. Tight lighting and framing. We've got some quality cinematography happening here. Always a good idea to choose now or present as your timestamp, since clearly it's a very fluid idea. Really leaning into Mario and Luigi being plumbers. Only an insane person would put a filthy plunger on the wall, so obviously Mario does.
Another dimension, the universe next door. An alternate world separated by time and space.
Men in Black 2 used the same divisive weirdo sci-fi show explaining the plot. Hope they gave Bob Hoskins residuals. You guys left your bird outside, let him in. It's dimensional travel shadowing because of the pixelation thing, and also I can smell and taste that image.
Who's in charge of this hole?
I'm the boss here.
Samantha Mathis had an iconic 6 years from 90 to 96. Pump Up the Volume, Fern Gully, Broken Arrow, a bunch of others. Put some respect on this 90s icon's name.
You know, a lot of girls have been going missing in Brooklyn lately. I'd be careful.
That's what you have to love about mobsters. He didn't have anything to do with the missing girls, but he'll still use it to his advantage. A mafia win. He's a creep.
They say it's dog.
Ha! Because they'll eat any mammal like we'll eat any reptile? Seems right. Hugo is a whole different kind of weirdo now. Fisher Stevens has creep range. It's actually crazy how much of my childhood this guy was in. Mystery Date, Hackers, Nina Takes a Lover, Short Circuit 1 and 2. Wait, wasn't the lead in those movies Indian? Oh no. Classic 90s window pane slapstick. Can't beat it.
It's like, no, I have heard it because it's like the flower and everything. But it's not like I hang around the flower shops and nothing like that.
Yeah, we don't talk about Bruno, but Bruno ain't about talking. A true gentleman.
Oh, I was abandoned. I grew up at St. Teresa's on Fulton Street.
Also the egg thing. You hatched from an egg. Not sure why you're leaving that part out.
He's been my mother my whole life. Hey, my father. My father. He's been my father, my uncle, my brother, everybody.
I really can't state enough how natural and amazing John Leguizamo's performance is. Being smashed 24/7 probably helped.
Out of my way!
It was an empty parked car.
Weird is working in a bone pit all day.
Yeah, but and the egg thing.
It's almost as if he was a monster trying to be a human being. It's beautiful.
Bizarrely poetic moment in the video game movie about plumbers. Also, is that like one of Yoshi's relatives?
Strap your belt on, kid. We're going in.
Ladies, gentlemen, lovelies outside the binary. The late Mr. Bob Hoskins. He's played Iago. He's played Smee. Spore, the other time he was a plumber. He was Eddie Valiant. You can take the man out of the theater, but can't take the theater out of the man. Huge missed opportunity to have no actual hands-on plumbing in the Mario games. Also teamwork.
That's the echo.
How do you know?
I've been listening to pipes all my life.
Also some real plumber know-how, really lending to the idea that plumbers would be perfect heroes. Look at those visual effects. Ha! Spoke too soon. Seeing this aesthetic show up now on album covers, music videos, and clothes as a hip 90s aesthetic is a trip. Whatever you think is uncool now will eventually be cool again. Therefore, I will be cool again.
You're not gonna kill them. Not if I get there first. I'm gonna break every bone in their body, and then I'm gonna kill them.
Spoken like a true Harold Shand. And even with this loose adaptation, the production designer snuck in awesome Easter eggs like Hammer Bros, Thwomp Stompers, Fire Snake, Bullet Bills, even the cab is Wiggler. Love everyone.
Get out of here!
There was talk of the original version of this movie being very Tim Burton-y, and I feel like this is a taste of that. Off-putting, is that fair? As far as B-roll goes, this is top-notch grade A stuff. No context, just a person crashing their bike.
Hello, morons.
Hello.
Ha! They just respond with positivity. True optimists.
The plumbers took it.
Plumbers. He says it like they're an opposing political party. The 90s, man, what a time.
Frank Tweeter, only 22 bucks.
The thing about the Easter eggs is that they really only landed for the kids who read the game manuals, because it's not like anyone called this guy a tweeter in the game. So there's some deep cuts for the real nerds among us.
You shouldn't wander around without a weapon.
Yeah.
You got one?
No.
Get him on, sucker!
You can feel it coming and it still works so well. Badass old ladies that just got a soft spot for him. And apparently before they were just doing this, Thwomps must have had a thriving rocket boot business.
Get a great big stupor, all because of the evil King Koopa.
A Mojo Nixon cameo is not what I expected in this film, but as they say, if you don't got Mojo Nixon, then your film could use some fixing.
You can't arrest a guy for just singing a song.
He may not agree with your message, but he'll damn sure fight for your right to sing it. What's that hat made? Oh, is that a pig lady? Remember that Bronson Pinchot movie, Hot Resort? Yeah, me either, but Dana Kaminsky was in that too. Why did the cop cars have arresting gear like an aircraft carrier? Not sure, but it probably has something to do with them all being electric since there were no fossil fuels to burn for gasoline. You know, because the dinos didn't die.
Oh no.
Are we dead?
Fair question.
That's our old king. It's true. And he's been de-evolved. De-evolved into fungus. And now he's wreaking his revenge on the city.
Just the most absurd exposition, and every word is true. Great and weird detail that Koopa is a germaphobe. Adds to his eliteness.
Egg-sucking son of a snake.
Egg suckers.
Egg sucker feels like a slur, and considering the reproduction here, it's kind of like baby eater. I mean, Lena is sucking an egg earlier, so maybe it's just an insult for rich jerk. Mrs. Dursley Unleashed is something I'm surprisingly here for, though. Yeah, this freaked me right out as a kid. Still does.
Goombas.
I mean, now he's stinking cute and not the worst iteration of these guys. I mean, it made sense to me as a kid, I think. Something must have been left on the cutting room floor, just like that giant pile of goose poop. Either way, I could watch that cop slipping and absolutely eating it all day. What? They don't bounce? JK, another great attempt at adaptation. I guess they could be like the ones from Bowser. That's actually a pretty dope move. Resourcefulness. The score is so fun and zany. It makes the scene almost feel like a cartoon, but hey, you put some metal behind it, even some Terminator industrial synth, and all of a sudden you realize the heroes just stole a cop car and are getting shot at.
This is driving!
I didn't have an SNES, so I had no clue what he was talking about. In a few years, my buddy would get Mario Kart 64, and I'd forgotten this movie existed. Dang, I'd have to guess it's around 1,312 degrees in there? I mean, it kinda sounds like the power-up sound. But really, it's just Bob and John getting excited about the next setup so they can toss a few back. Ah, Koopa Hari Desert. Always hated the desert levels. Stupid sun. Stupid whatever this thing is.
And this giant booger caught us in there. That's what saved us.
Have some fun and go down the absolutely bananas internet rabbit holes of is fungus alien and is fungus sentient? It really is bananas, and also it will make some of the movies seem less bananas, which in itself is also bananas.
Let's get out of here.
Bananas.
You have your mother's eyes.
Checks out since she played her own mother. That's the dream. I don't want to be an actor, but I'd love to play my own dad.
Ah, a not-so-benevolent dictator.
Immediately, intelligence makes them anti-bad guy and anti-authoritarianism. Makes you think, don't it?
Square root of 26,481 is?
What are you talking about?
191.
It absolutely isn't. It's 162.729 blah blah blah. Turns out bigger brains just make you think you know stuff. Luigi says gay rights, also John Leguizamo's workout routine.
Are the Goombas training with the handheld de-evolution gun?
As we speak, sir.
Chekhov's handheld de-evolution gun? Again, the 90s were a trip.
Disgusting mammals.
Fair.
Where's my father?
He's around.
He's not lying. Honesty.
You are so fresh and so clean.
You might even say nobody is as dope as her. Nah, although both Deacon of the D's and Frank Booth wish they had that tongue.
You know what they say about little girls, don't you? They never forget the first time they're kissed by a lizard.
I like that we don't know if that's actually a saying in the Mushroom Kingdom or if Koopa is just a creep. Well, he's definitely a creep, but like extra creepy. I always kind of forget the part about the Mario Brothers lore that Koopa or Bowser is in love with the princess. And it's fascinating that this movie is the only time things would actually, work. And it makes it easily the creepiest version of Koopa ever.
Throwback.
How dare you kick Yoshi? But also solid burn. Yoshi has always been the cutest, and you wouldn't think actual Dino would carry that on, but dang it, he does.
The mammals, you guys are quite acceptable.
Aw, compliments. John Leguizamo said that many of the dancers in this scene were actually local strippers from the area, and so they dressed as such, and the studio decided to cut lots of this scene out. The more you know.
Dance with me. I'll hit you all you like.
Once again, bringing that smooth Harold Shand energy. Bob Hoskins says game. You'd already know this if you had Nebula. I talk about it in my video about how the Daniel Craig Bond movies were essentially gangster movies. You should go watch it. Bold move for the first try. I know it's to save the world and stuff, but I think grab the rock between this stranger's bob-ombs with my mouth would probably be at the end of a pretty long list of other ways to get it, at least for me. But you do you, MM. You do you. I'd say that Walk the Dinosaur was too on the nose to be playing in a nightclub, but I actually bet it plays 3 to 4 times per night because that's how it would be in our dimension. Also just hitting me that Mario is wearing gloves and I officially want to dress like this man for the rest of my life. I saw that smile. Mario might have acted like he was doing it all just to get the rock back, but the man is down to clown.
King Koopa here.
Does the gun control the FaceTime chat? Or is he threatening the pizza guy? Or is it just that the scene where the big bad orders pizza wasn't weird enough? Something about seeing these guys in these outfits makes me want to go to Pizza Hut or McDonald's and supersize something. Just an immediate dose of nostalgic dopamine that hits me for some reason. Stuffed crust, anyone? Yeah, same.
Fascist, oppressor of the proletariat.
Ha! Based Iggy and Spike. Honestly, I'm glad to see that the Plague finally realized solidarity was the key. Also stoked to see that Vito did, in fact, do the right thing.
What I mean is, I think we can do this together. I think I can help you.
We can talk about this later!
Very well, then. If not with you.
Yeah, that's what Carolyn Martins would do. He really is so pleased with himself. Just the happiest little guy, or big guy, small head. Nope, you stab Yoshi, you die. I mean, I get it, the dude swallows huge things whole, but still, you die. Them's the rules. So apparently the reason here was that some reptiles sort of get in a trance with rhythmic movement, but I like to think the Goombas just really love to dance. Honestly, I just love everything about the Goombas. I love looking at them. They spark joy, what can I say? And this is easily a top 5 scene in this movie. He's trying so hard. You gotta ship them. And she recognizes he's one of the good ones. Heartwarming.
This is my father?
Yes.
Don't worry, Daisy. He seems like a fun guy. Ah, it's fair, it's fair.
A retreat is in order. An ordered retreat.
They're so stupid, and I love it. They just increase their vocabulary and confidence.
How did you know they do that? Huh? Because everybody loves to dance, that's why.
See, he gets it. They got me on this one. I love that it plays into Luigi's whimsical way of doing things. You kind of think, yeah, if you believe it enough, you can totally fly. It's even funnier because just gotta believe is Luigi's goal for Mario.
You just gotta believe.
Hugging. Probably slightly too extended hugging for the timing, but still hugging.
Thank you for all your help.
Leguizamo plays Luigi so sincerely. He's kind of a doofus, but also he's a total sweetie. I love how Hopper keeps his hands close to his body like a T-Rex. And fun fact, the directors hated it. Making movies seems fun.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Lizard King.
Really just want nothing but the best for these two. It's clear they were meant to be.
Daniela, I promise to take her to WrestleMania.
Hi, Mario!
We've all got that one friend.
There's a missing girl from Brooklyn.
Yeah, except for Angelica. She's from Queens.
Ah, well, that explains it. Queens. Psh, only respect girls from Brooklyn. I actually have no opinions on boroughs of New York. That seems like a mistake. But Captain America was from Brooklyn and Peter was from Queens. Remember? It's a thing. Hey, look at that painting.
End up the de-evolution guns. Prepare for destiny.
Where's my pizza?
Priorities. I mean, it's no Willow, but this is a pretty solid unorthodox sledding scene, and if I'm being real, Satch's Speed of Light may actually be too perfect of a song choice, almost too feel good. You know I'm just happy to see the Goombas having so much fun. Hashtag justice for Goombas. My guy, we came full circle.
You're late, humans. Sir, your pizza's here. Not now.
I really love the pizza subplot. There's literally no reason for it, but it's just perfect. Mario says gay rights. Electro death shadowing.
He's got a ba-bomb.
A sex ba-bomb? Although I didn't see this coming, and it is brutal. So a human de-evolving wouldn't become a chimp, even though it's kind of a common evolution misconception. We didn't evolve from apes, we just share a common ancestor. And he'd probably look more like a bonobo, but really a unique mammal that doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, back to the video game movie about palette-swapped plumbers. I mean, why not? Almost nothing has made sense in this movie at all, and I'm still loving every minute of it. Why not have Mario use a mushroom as a shield and then Captain America that piece at Koopa? Get it.
Trust the fungus.
Everyone in this kingdom seems to know what this little guy is and completely fears it. I really worried that harmonica was just decoration, and I am pleased that it isn't. This right here is the part that stuck with me. If you asked me what happened in Super Mario Bros. As a kid, I'd have said there were tiny dino head bad guys, and then in the end, there's a bucket, and the big bad guy shows his true form, a terrifying toothed monster. I didn't know he was de-evolving into a T-Rex, I just assumed he was nightmare fuel beneath the human skin suit all along. This part seems a little closer to true evolution in the video game movie about palette-swapped plumbers. Again with the zany music, where's Danny Elfman when you need him? You can't say they didn't pick a tone and stick to it, though. And that tone was 90s. Fun fact, Lance Henriksen actually came up with the idea of coughing up Rice Krispies when the king re-evolves because he thought he'd have some fungus inside. Lena continuity. Love.
I'd call them the Super Mario Brothers.
That's nice, but you'd be wrong because it's Mario.
Luigi, Mario!
Daisy!
You gotta come with me, I need your help.
Honestly, I would love to see what they had planned for the sequel. Plus, she's got her own correctly colored coveralls.
I believe.
Aw, that's called a character arc.
A video game based on your many adventures.
What would you call it? The Super Koopa Cousins.
Ha! Bet you didn't know Super Mario Bros. Had a post-credits stinger, did ya? I'd play it. Super Mario Bros. Is a tough one for me to really judge because while it wasn't exactly my childhood the way some 80s and 90s movies were, I only saw it a few times, it still holds a special place. I'm not an idiot, I can watch it now and see that it's a weird mess of direction, writing, and even performances are all over the place, but it's still got heart, and dang it if it isn't just so much fun. The design alone in this film is just next level. I really do love how Mario and Luigi end up in their classic colors. The Goombas, while not particularly related to their video game counterparts, are so wonderfully lurchy, and like, that's just because the tiny animatronic heads are above their real ones, right? No in-universe reason, just is the way it is. And taking the concept of the Mushroom Kingdom and just slathering a city in fungus is amazingly weird in all the right ways. The effects have been clowned on for years, but honestly, it works with the aesthetic of the films and feels very in-world. I think several variations of the de-evolving Koopa looked awesome, and if I had one real complaint, it's that I definitely wanted a full scene with Koopa in dino form, but clearly that was going to be too expensive. Thing is, like with many of the problem movies from any decade, studio interference was issue number one. That it feels like we go from a kid's movie to a weird dark comedy and then just the most faithful adaptation of an 8-bit 3-color sprite who hated blocks is thanks to studio rewrites, funding issues, even actors throwing fits. And now we have what we have. Now, I'm not saying that had the studio not interfered, we'd be talking about the worldwide phenomenon and Best Picture winner Super Mario Bros., but I do think Annabelle Jankel and Rocky Morton's, the Max Headroom folks' original idea sounds like a much more fascinating film. But hey, then we wouldn't have Bob Hoskins doing this hammy Brooklyn accent.
We got white. I'm not if I get that place. I'm your main man. You Ramadan, you can of Spain.
Legend has it that Bob and John made it through the tumultuous production by getting hammered, so that checks out. Hoskins is a world-class actor who never really got his due, at least in the States. Honestly, his relationship with the movie kind of bums me out. Apparently, he fully regretted making it and was massively embarrassed by it. And like, I get it, but also I wish he could have lived to see the resurgence of the fandom for this film. Regardless of what he thought of the film, it really did bring some people joy, and I guarantee had he lived to be in a legacy sequel, he would have crushed it. And John Leguizamo is also a world-class actor, not saying that lightly, but it's also not like he shies away from the weird. Romeo and Juliet, Land of the Dead, Moulin Rouge, Spawn, that's a special one. But the guy has range. He does small parts in John Wick while also Sid the Slothing at the same time. His energy and charisma and sincerity are clear in this film, and it's why he started to blow up right after. Some of the folks involved in this film have talked about how midway through production, everyone started looking at each other and realized it was gonna be bad. And nobody wants to be in a bomb, but the thing is, bombs are still fun. And that's what this movie is. Fun and weird, just so dang weird. I mean, honestly, it's kind of like somebody put the synopsis of a Mario game into Google Translate, translated it into another language, and then back to English. It's not wrong, really, but it's not right. But it is a ride. Surprised me, entertained me, and based on everything I've heard so far, for better or worse, it's the exact opposite of the new Mario movie that just came out. But you know I'll be there to find the bright side. That's the name of the channel? Bright Side, where we shine a light on the side that it wasn't, it'll be bright now. See ya.
Wait, nope, almost forgot. Next week is a long one.
What is this?